In every marriage, trust is the foundation that holds two hearts together. But what happens when that trust begins to crack? This is the story of Amara, a devoted wife whose world was about to change forever. One evening, while her husband Adamu was preparing for what he claimed was a business trip to Ghana, Amara stumbled upon something she was never meant to see. A message. A message that spoke of spending an entire week in Lagos with another woman. Her heart raced. Her hands trembled. Could the man she loved be living a double life? Amara refused to sit back and wonder. She needed answers. And she was determined to find them. With the help of her trusted friend, Uche, she secretly followed Adamu to Lagos. To avoid suspicion, Uche pretended to be her boyfriend. Together, they watched from a distance as Adamu carried on with his secret plans. But the closer Amara got to the truth, the more painful the reality became. Every smile. Every phone call. Every suspicious meeting. Each one felt like another knife through her heart. Then the unexpected happened. Adamu spotted Amara and Uche together. Confused and angry, he confronted them. The tension exploded. Accusations flew. Tempers rose. And for the first time, both husband and wife were forced to face the growing distance between them. As the days passed, Adamu began to realize the damage his lies had caused. He saw the pain in Amara's eyes. He saw the trust he had shattered. And deep within himself, regret began to grow. But just when it seemed the storm was beginning to settle, a new threat emerged. Her name was Kira. A beautiful and mysterious woman carrying a dangerous secret. Kira claimed she was pregnant for Adamu. And she demanded 50 million naira to keep the matter hidden. The revelation sent shockwaves through everyone involved. Amara was devastated. Adamu was terrified. And their marriage stood on the edge of complete destruction. Questions filled the air. Was the pregnancy real? Had Adamu betrayed his wife even more deeply than anyone imagined? Or was there another truth waiting to be uncovered? As pressure mounted, Amara decided she could no longer rely on assumptions. She needed proof. Determined to protect herself and everything she had worked for, she took control of their finances and began investigating Kira's claims. The deeper she looked, the more suspicious the story became. The dates did not add up. The details kept changing. And Kira's explanations became increasingly difficult to believe. Something was wrong. Very wrong. Then came the moment that changed everything. Faced with undeniable evidence, Kira finally broke. The truth she had fought so hard to hide came crashing down. There was no pregnancy. There never had been. The entire story was a lie. A carefully crafted scheme designed to extort money from Adamu. Kira had seen an opportunity. She had seen a troubled marriage. And she had tried to use deception to enrich herself. The confession left everyone speechless. For Amara, it was a moment of relief. But it was also a moment of reflection. Because while Kira had lied, Adamu's dishonesty had created the doorway through which trouble entered their lives. Adamu knew it. He could no longer hide behind excuses. With tears in his eyes, he stood before his wife and accepted responsibility for his actions. He apologized for the lies, for the secrecy, for the pain, for every moment he had made her question her worth, for every night she cried alone, for every piece of trust he had broken. And for the first time in a long time, Amara saw genuine remorse in his heart. Buche, who had stood beside her through every challenge, respected her decision. Though he cared deeply for Amara, he knew her heart still belonged to her husband. With grace and maturity, he stepped aside and wished them well. The choice now belonged to Amara. She could walk away. She could let the marriage end. Or she could choose forgiveness. It was not an easy decision. Trust is fragile. Once broken, it takes time to rebuild. But Amara understood something important. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is strength. And sometimes, fighting for what you love requires more courage than walking away. So she made her choice. She chose to save her marriage. She chose to give Adamu one final chance. Not because his mistakes were small, but because his repentance was genuine. Together, they began the difficult journey of rebuilding what had been broken. One conversation at a time. One promise at a time. One day at a time. Months later, the couple stood stronger than ever. The storms had not destroyed them. The lies had not defeated them. And the betrayal had not been the end of their story. Instead, it became the lesson that transformed their marriage forever. Because in the end, truth prevailed. Love endured. And a family found its way back together. This is the story of Amara and Adamu. A story of betrayal. A story of redemption. And a reminder that even when trust is tested, hope can still find a way. The greatest victory was not exposing the lie. It was saving the marriage. A marriage is not tested when everything is perfect. It is tested when betrayal, lies, and hardship threaten to destroy it.